Welcome to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I'm your host, Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry and Instagram. I am Mel-Tran Designs. Today is Friday, the 13th of October, 2017. I hope you've had a good week. I'm not feeling great right in this area of my body. It just won't get full blown to where I'm just down and out, but it's just enough that I'm not great. So anyways, I have my trusty pink drink here in my Panera cup from last night, and I have cough drop sitting here, so we're ready. I don't have a whole ton of things to talk about really anyways, so I think we'll be fine. And it's 10 o'clock. So let's talk about happenings this week. So since we last spoke, on Saturday, the kids and I went to the BSU volleyball game, which was so much fun. It was my 4 kids and my oldest daughter's friend and myself. And it was their pink out day, so if you wore pink, you got in for $3. And then we did get there early enough to get shirts, and so we all got pink BSU shirts, which is cool. Eli wore his with pride. They were all adult mediums, didn't matter. Quinn was wearing hers. It went down to her feet. But yeah, we had a ton of fun. They really acknowledge it over there, you know, because some schools, it's just one of the sports that goes on, but they had the Bronco mascot, and they had part of the marching band there, and they had cheerleaders, and it was really exciting. So yeah, that was a ton of fun. They ended up losing right at the end, but they went all the way to 5 sets, and anyways, it was cool. And then afterwards, the players stay on the court and people can go down and meet them. And so the kids had their shirts signed by the players, and Anansi found one of their posters. Somebody just left it on the bleachers when they left, and so she grabbed that and they signed that for her. And yeah, I got some pictures, especially of Quinn. Oh my gosh, because, you know, she's tiny, she's 3, and a lot of these volleyball players are super tall, and so, you know, they would sign for the older kids, and then she would just turn around, and they were like, oh my gosh, you're so tiny, and they would, like, practically just sit on the floor to sign her shirt. Oh, they were just gushing over her. It was so sweet. So yeah, that was fun. And then we ended up not coming home after that. Nothing like getting home 3 hours after you thought, because we dropped Anansi's friend off and then went to a couple different stores. And anyway, by the time we got home, it was like 8. So ended up being kind of a full day. And then that night, was it that night or the next night? No, it was the next night. Okay, so then the next day, Sunday, I'll scoot forward because I don't feel like I'm talking very loud, so I will scoot forward here and try to project a little bit better. We were bad and played hooky from church and went up to a little town called Idaho City, about an hour from here, and they were having Idaho City Days, and so they had all these great vendors set up, and they had in their little community park, they had stuff for the kids. Unfortunately, we missed the breakfast that was a fundraiser for their fire department, but they had all the museums open, so we got to go in the museum and see some neat things. The old Masonic lodge or hall or whatever, it was open for tours, and that was really fascinating because it was built in 1935, I think it said. And like we got to go even upstairs where they do all of their different ritual things. I don't know the right terminology. But anyways, where they actually hold their meetings. The bottom floor is just kind of a big room. And they don't use it all the time now. They use it once a year for kind of just just to keep using it because it was the original one in Idaho or something like that. Anyway, yeah, so it was really neat to see the folding chairs were all wood, and upstairs in their ritual room, they have this furniture that was built by hand. You know, I mean, just original artwork, you know, from almost 100 years ago. And anyway, it was really neat. And the guy who was doing the tours is the head guy for this area in the Masons, and so you know, he was really knowledgeable about the building and about all the stuff. And anyways, it was really fascinating. I really enjoy random things like that. So anyway, and then after that, we went over to the very first original Idaho Territorial Penitentiary that was smaller than my house, and my house is not big. It was essentially one big room that was split with kind of a hall down the middle. I mean, just super basic. I you know, not big, but considering that Idaho City at one point boasted around 30,000 people, it was surprisingly small. So anyway, it was a really neat looking building, and out behind it they had some different old mining equipment, you know, mining cars and just huge metal equipment that was really neat to see. So then after that we went over to the craft bazaar part of it, which, you know, was really the whole reason I wanted to go, because I knew there would be knitters. I knew there would be some of our people, and sure enough, there were some knitters and crocheters and sewers, and I was able to hand out some retreat brochures. We bought this cute little angel to give to my sister this next week when we go over to her house, from a crocheter, really cute little crocheted angel. And hi, Kyan. I'm recording, okay? Do you want to come say hi? Do you want to peek in? Come on this way. Hey. I got Kyan that new shirt. It's a ghost shirt. Isn't it cute? Anyway, so I was able to hand out some retreat brochures. And then also I was able to get a spot for next year for my lotion business. So it was very fruitful. One lady in particular who I was talking to about the retreat, who really wants to come, she and I we hit it off. And she made a comment at one point, and I went, oh, we could get in a lot of trouble together. So anyway, that was really cool. And then at one of the booths, I was actually able to buy some stuff for the goodie bags. And the lady who, it was sewn items, but she has a group of friends that likes to do retreats together and learn new things and whatnot, so they might come too. It'll be cool. So, that was Sunday. Oh, and then Sunday night, the stuff that I bought Saturday, which was the reason I didn't come home right away, I bought some 9 cube cubbies. So two of them, to put in my room, to put my yarn in. They're fantastic. They're just the right size, and I can use the top of them for different little notion-y, randomy things. And I bought some fabric boxes to go in them, because they gave 5 panels to put behind whichever ones you want, and so I just did 2, 1, 2, because I don't know, that's what you do. And then I bought like 6 of the yarn fabric cubes to go in some of the others, so that way the yarn didn't push all the way through the back. Anyway, so we set those up. And then Monday, did we do anything on Monday? I don't think we did. No, yeah, I don't think we did anything Monday. Tuesday, Jake and I got to ref our first tournaments, which was a really great learning experience. And it was fun. And we got to do 3 games instead of 2, which was awesome. And it was good for extra money. So that was Tuesday. Wednesday night, I refed for the rec center, which is what I do on Wednesday nights now. And last night I worked, and it was terrible, and it sucked, and it was horrible, and not good. And here we are to today. So, oh, and yesterday my friend came over and knitted. I can't forget that. My friend Priscilla came over with and hung out for a couple hours, and we got to knit in the morning. That was good. So now we are on to the knitting portion, which is going to be probably shorter than the talking portion. Nope, I have going on and coming up. The only thing going on is retreat signups, which you all know about by now. Please come. It would be super fun. And also we're doing a slipper knit along, kind of connected to the retreat, but this is also the perfect time of year to whip up some slippers, whether they're going to be a gift or for you or a combination of, you know, the two of those things. I don't think I started a thread in the group. Remind me when the show's over to do that. Kai, and remind me.
To what?
To open up a thread about the slipper knit along.
Okay.
Okay. That'll be up with the video as well. Okay. Let's move on to the knitting now. I actually worked on 2 projects this week instead of just 1. I know I've been monogamous, and I'm still mostly being monogamous, but I have decided that the blanket I started for Jake 4 stinking years ago is going to be done this Christmas. If you've been around, you know about the 8-bit Mario blanket. I made about a quarter of it. It's a bunch of mitered squares. I'll show it to you. I made about a quarter of it, realized that the squares were way too big. The blanket was going to be ginormous, so I started over again and worked on it and then just set it aside. And I pulled it out the other day because I'm tired of moving the bag around. It has all the yarn and da-da-da-da-da. So I figured out that as long as I get 2 mitered squares a day, which is there are only 26 stitches to start with. So it doesn't take that long. If I do 2 a day, I'll be done before Christmas, by like the 20th or something like that. So then I promptly sat down and made like 8 that night. I was like, okay, here we go. So I have finished another row. I actually have my needles in the next one. I've done a couple rows while I was waiting for my computer rebooted overnight, so when I was waiting for it to kick back on, I kind of started this other one. But here's, let me see, how much can you see? Okay, you can see all of it. Here's what I have. I don't know if you can see the sides here. So when I picked it up the other night, I was did I start with the yellow or do the one right before the yellow? Either way, I finished this whole row. So next week, let me see, are they, I think they're 14, I think they're 14 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I'm doing 2 a day, then I will be doing essentially a row a week. Obviously, I'm sure you all can do that math. 2 times 7. Kind's like, yeah, dummy. This is a pattern off of Ravelry. It's a free pattern. I say that because it's mostly just the chart. And it is a bunch of crocheted granny squares that the person sewed together. Shoot me right now. Not for the granny square part, but the thought of sewing 100 and some odd squares together. So, me being a knitter, I thought, hey, I'll miter square them. Then I don't have to worry about the piecing. And what else is nice is I just make 1 or 2 of them and it's done and nice. I'm using acrylic. So for all of you who are not appreciators of acrylic, which I'm not an appreciator of acrylic, but you would not enjoy this blanket. But I needed to be able to afford the yarn, and the best way that I could afford it was to go to Michael's and use a coupon and get their version of Red Heart. And it is what it is. Jake is going to love it, and that's all I care about. I haven't decided if I'm going to put a backing on it. The pros and the pros are it would have, like a nice fleece back to it, which would be nice and soft. The con is that, a knitted blanket is stretchy. So if you want to hook your feet under and kind of pull on it, you can. Once you have that backing on, you can't do that. So I haven't decided yet. The back doesn't look terrible. I haven't really trimmed, but I've been, I weave in the ends as I go, with the exception apparently of this one. Oh, no, it is woven in. It's just a little bit longer. So, once I trim those down, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. So we'll see. Maybe I'll give it to Jake and then give him the option of, if I put a backing on it or whatever. So anyway, there's that. Just look up, Mario, I don't know, Mario. When I couldn't find it, I did a search for Mario and found it. There's quite a few Mario things on there. I do have a project page for it. It might be hibernating. I need to pull it out of hibernating. It's called Secret Mitered Squares Project or something like that. The other thing I'm working on, and I'm using a size 7 needle. The other thing I'm working on is my other, kind of full-time project is the Dagna pullover. And I didn't work on it until today's Friday. I worked on it not until like Wednesday, I think. Because Tuesday kind of went nuts on the Mario blanket, and before that, things had just been busy. Monday we worked on cleaning the house a lot, and we're not done with some stuff, but it definitely needed it with the craziness that has been our lives for 3 weeks during crazy reffing, coaching, reffing season. And so, yeah, I didn't work on it until Wednesday, but then I was able to get quite a bit done. Okay. I was trying to maybe get a little bit more done on this row to finish it off. I'm not really sure why I didn't finish it. So because Eli had an appointment and it got done before I was done. So hold on, I'm just gonna move these stitches over so I can hold it open for you. Just kidding, I'm gonna drop a stitch. Well, now you get to sit and wait for a second. Because I don't want to take that chance. There we go. Hold on, I'm almost done. And I'm actually going to be teaching a class on this sweater that starts in a couple weeks. Getting ready to put the yarn order in for that. So that'll be fun. All right. Oh yeah, we went to my friend Anita's house. When was that?
It was Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday?
Yeah, because I remember we came home and then built the cubbies after lunch.
It was Tuesday. We went to visit my friend Anita, who's taking my class. I took Kyan with me. No, it was Sunday night. We built the cubbies Sunday night.
We did.
It was Sunday night. Yeah, we did go over there. It was a nice visit. I hadn't heard from her in a while. She usually texts back, and I was like, we need to just go visit. And Kyan wanted to spend some time with me, so she went with me, and we got to hang out, and then went for a little bit of we took the scenic route home and hung out a little bit longer. Okay, so here is my pullover. I know it looks small, but it's a mistake rib, and as you all know, as knitters, mistake rib is very, well, any rib is very loose, but mistake rib seems to grow even more. This marker is insignificant. It's how much half of a skein was. Don't worry about that. this marker is where I was last Friday. So as you can see, I've done a few inches, and I did throw in on the back side a marker. Oh yeah, I ran out. That's my first skein of yarn there. So this is 16 inches from the bottom. The reason I marked that is because that's what the pattern says to do before you start doing the increases for the arms, because it's up and over the top. If you want to hear about the construction, go back to last week or the week before. But I'm adding on some inches because they have it just sit kind of right at your hip bone, and I want it longer. And so I just wanted to mark 16 inches just so I could see, and kind of held it up to me, and I decided, oh yeah, here's another kind of arbitrary marker that will come out. This is, I figured out that I need 14 rows from this point to be the length that I want. And I have decided that I'm going to make the back 2 or 3 inches longer than the front. I haven't decided how many inches. I'll play with that when I'm at the front. And I am going to leave a little bit of a split, so that way I can sit down and it'll just stay nice and loose. And anyway, so yeah, that's 16 inches, which is really, I just stuck it in there because I was like, okay, I just want to know. I don't know why. But this is for 14 rows after that. And I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 whole rows past that, so I just have 10 more rows left. So anyway, that is, like I said, the Dagna pullover. I'm knitting it out of Valley Yarns Haydenville, which is a very nice and soft yarn. It's a worsted weight, 60% superwash merino, 40% acrylic microfiber. So it has that kind of brushed feel to it. And the bag I'm using is one of my Lois, knitting's my bags, my fall one. I mean, it's very fitting. It's a fall colored sweater, and it's fall, and I'm knitting it on, this is also on size 7s. There's a theme I'm finding here. So anyways, that is all the knitting. And see, it took me 11 minutes to talk about my week, and 11 minutes to talk about my knitting. So equal time, I guess. I thought it'd be less time on the knitting, but that's all right. I tried to buy time by knitting a few stitches, and well, you all remember it was like 3 minutes ago. Anyways, I think that's all I have for you this week. Yes, places to find the podcast: YouTube, the Mel-Tran Designs Ravelry group, the Mel-Tran Designs Facebook page. Yeah, I don't even mess with iTunes anymore. It's not even worth the hassle. So I'm just in those places. Mostly just, the base is YouTube, and then I just link it in other places. If you ever have any questions about anything, please send me an email at meltrandesigns@gmail.com. If you are interested in more retreat information, please find that at Fiber Fanatics Unite on Ravelry. There's a group, and then on Facebook it's Fiber Fanatics Unite Retreat. So those are the 2 pages, or shoot an email over to fiberfanaticsunite@gmail.com. Yeah, that's all I have for you. So until next time, keep knitting. Bye.